Hey, my name is Max, and welcome to SunsetPhobia. I have a question. Are you an animator that uses a childlike art style to portray themes like mental illness, psychological damage, and abuse, displaying humanity's disdain for the monotonous and mundane? Well, if not, then you're in luck. Today, we'll be looking at Vewn, also known as Victoria Vincent, a Californian-based animator with a weird fetish for high and obscure angles. Victoria started her YouTube career in 2015, actually September of 2015, and debuted her first movie, Pizza Movie, a very mundane film that depicts a minimum wage pizza worker named Jess, sarcastically coming up with existential reasons for why she's working a dead-end job. Since then, Victoria has been posting non-stop streams of animation, including her 1-minute snippets being broadcast for Adult Swim and her short feature films. Each one of her films have an underlining but mostly negative message against the modern day world, like children using violence as a coping mechanism to defend at-home trauma, or experiencing the day in the life of a man diagnosed with agoraphobic disorder. You definitely won't find any shortage of the darkness exploring with Vewn. Speaking of said darkness, let's start with our first movie, Dead End, released in 2019. This animated short follows the story of two characters, an high schooler who just got sent to the counselor's office, and the counselor, whose main goal is to help the student make better decisions in his life.
What's on your mind today?
The usual. The void inside of me is growing.
The kid starts to rant about how much he hates his life, not only his, but also everyone else's, comparing his classmates to drones, distracting themselves over meaningless things. The scene cuts to some shots of the kid smoking outside, and the counselor falling asleep on his keyboard. In a couple of shots, it's shown that the kid stabbed his hand while playing a very rushed game of five-finger fillet.
What did he do this time? And why would he do something like that?
Better luck next time.
Jump cut into the next day, and now the counselor starts a spiel of his own, patronizing the student for not taking the effort into changing his own life.
What's on your mind today? Let me guess. You're depressed, and it's all society's fault. You hate school, but you still come here because it's not like there's anything better to do. You wish your life could change, but you do nothing to make that actually happen.
Okay. Can I leave now?
It's now nighttime, and the counselor is still there, gambling his life away and losing money with every spin.
Better luck next time.
With all the alcohol he's been drinking, he falls in some sort of trance, hallucinating the seductive woman he sees during his online gambling habits. The woman starts pushing him around, sort of how he lets the outcome of his decisions push him around into the adult that he doesn't want to be.
Better luck next time.
It's graduation day, and the kid is making himself a shitty tattoo. Now it's back to the office, and the counselor tries one last time to change the student's direction in his life.
The year's almost over. What are you even planning to do when you graduate? Don't you want to go to college, have a career, a family? Don't you see a future for yourself at all?
I'm gonna do what I want.
Good luck with that.
Dead End is a story about nihilism and the different ways you can respond to it.
The usual.
You could be like the counselor who lets each one of his decisions be decided by a gamble and a loss. Or you can be like the kid who takes fate into his own hands, even if he's ignoring the consequences.
Code Red. There's a kid in the ape cage. Over.
Bobo the Monkey is a film about a monkey being locked in an extremely cramped cage. The short starts with our protagonist, Bobo, having a ketchup-covered french fry thrown at his face. Simultaneously, Bobo looks up to see some random monkey gets his fucking brains blown out. The same monkey gets carried out, and that's when Bobo gets his idea for his escape. It's now nighttime, and Bobo springs into action, spraying ketchup on himself and lying down. Wait, that's it? Instantly, already the next morning, he wakes up to find two security guards discovering him in his cage. The guards bring him around back and bury him behind the zookeeper's office. Picked up a random piece of sharp, something he found on the ground, and nails it directly into the zookeeper's face. And this moment, right here, is one of my favorite cinematic moments here from Vewn. This awesome musical piece starts to play, provided by Victoria's friends over at RIP. A musical duo from LA, starring Little Young Boy as the producer and Nick Stratton as the lead guitarist. This extremely simple but upbeat rhythm is perfect for ratifying the scene. Bobo immediately runs out of the zoo while his face is oozing with blood. But as soon as he's about to finally escape, he gets hit with the world's most stupidest question from the world's most oblivious cop.
Hey kid, did you see anything suspicious?
And that's it. Bobo the Monkey was written by Victoria and acted by Ari Goldberg and Rip's Little Young Boy himself. And you may be wondering if the short has any underlying narrative meaning behind it. It did not. It was just a cute little animation that Victoria conjured up for Adult Swim. Now, this next flick is a bit older than the other entries, but it's just as powerful. And in my opinion, one of my favorite shorts from Victoria. Well, this and the final next one. But still, it's my second favorite Vewn film of all time, and you're going to see why. A blink it and you miss it moment appears, showing a young lady hanging up flyers looking for a lost cat. Seriously, I had to fully slow down the scene to figure out what the hell just happened. That shot only lasted for a full 5 fucking seconds. But a second later, it's revealed that that cat is not really dead, or really missing. He's still alive in Cat City, released in 2017. Cat City is about the dangers of living alone and moving to a big city, and how psychologically damaging it is to live that type of urban lifestyle. The cat unlocks the door into his new apartment, and asks himself something that we have all asked ourselves at least once in our lives.
Wait a second. How am I gonna pay for this?
To his shock and realization, the cat runs across a city block in over half a second and immediately lands a job? Yeah, this cat must have some white privilege. That shit is never gonna happen. He gets to work and successfully finishes his first day, but receives a nice wad of cash for his first payout. But while flicking through his cash, he hears someone emit some god-awful scream.
Hey, it's not my problem.
He wakes up the next day, completes his next set of tasks, and hears that unnerving scream once again. A series of shots are shown of the same loop happening, being overwhelmed by a jazz but overbearing melody accompanied by saxophones. While working one day, the cat's owner randomly steps into the shop and starts waving around flyers at the manager. The cat waves him down and convinces the manager not to be a fucking snitch. The same overpowering melody plays while the cat runs across the street way too fucking fast and enters a random speakeasy bar. He drinks himself so badly into a stupor that the girl next to him, that he didn't even come with, had to wake him up. He stumbles his drunk ass back into his apartment, and that's when he hears those god-awful screams once again. He wakes up from a hangover, fucks up one haircut, and instantly gets fired.
You're fired.
The cat starts spiraling out of control, and in some flash cuts, it's signifying the descent into a spiral that's drenched with liquor and booze.
you shut up?
The harmful melody that was accompanied by the group Ask My Bull finally tunes out as the cat realizes that his only place of residence is now asking him to leave. Intoxicated and defeated, the cat hitches a ride back to his owner's home, where he finally feels safe from all the problems that come with big city living. And that's it. Cat City was written and directed by Victoria, well, once again. The music was performed by Ask My Bull, which is a band that you can see here on Spotify, and recorded by the professional Josh Yoon. And it released on April 23rd, 2017, a few couple of years before the Dead End short, and even a few more years before the infamous, depressing, but interesting short, Twins in Paradise. Released on the worst year of history, 2020. Twins in Paradise is definitely a film you need to see for yourself. Its very slow pace and uncomfortable themes makes the film stand out with its other counterparts. Twins in Paradise is about two twins, Darcy and Marcy, and their differentiating views on what's important to focus on during the end of the world. This film does have a theme of exploiting young minors. If you're kind of iffy with that type of subject matter, you can skip to this timeline right here in the corner below. Otherwise, let's begin with our last and final film. Marcy tries to start a conversation with her twin sister,
Darcy.
but ends up being interrupted by the coach, starting their practicing match. The scene cuts to a very interesting view of what might be of Miami or LA, I can't tell. Darcy looks like she's in a psychiatrist's office, with the psychiatrist obviously not caring. He gives her what looks like to be a fuckload of pills without even saying a single word to her. And while her sister is dealing with demons at the office,
You're doing so great. But it's time for a break now. That is not a winning attitude.
Marcy looks like she's dealing with demons of her own. We go back to Darcy's room, where you can see her taking one of the pills her psychiatrist suggested. And those pills seem to be working because Darcy starts to hallucinate. Her new little friend, a little pink cat. You can see that Marcy is still dealing with her demons while taking a bath. It looks like Doomsday is coming sooner than we thought.
Coach, what does this have to do with tennis?
Don't ask stupid questions, Marcy.
Destroy it.
This is when the twins start getting into their vices with dealing what's going on in the world. Marcy is destroying shit and Darcy is seeing shit.
What do you think your mother would say if she saw you?
Marcy shows up for a psychiatrist appointment and is being asked the same questions by the same therapist that interviewed her sister before. But Marcy has different ways of dealing with doctors. Darcy looks up to the angelic figure that's representing her deceased mother, while Marcy looks out the window to remind herself that her championship game is still scheduled for tomorrow.
I really like it here. I wish I didn't have to leave.
At this point, it looks like hell has completely taken over. Marcy wakes up for the scheduled event and proceeds to do the same for her little sister. The championship now has to be forfeited because Darcy unexpectedly suffered an overdose.
Hey, Darcy. How you doing? Is your arm okay?
Why would you pick today of all days to do this? We've worked so hard to get here.
Everything starts to bleed.
Don't get it.
The haunting reality of the world is starting to fall in on Darcy, while Marcy carries on her uncaring, inconsiderable rant in the background.
Did you even think about me at all?
Marcy rips open a portal and falls into Wonderland, where her sister has been spending all this time in. Marcy starts to play interdimensional tennis with her new blue cat friend. Marcy and her friend gets picked up by the angelic figure, while the demon ducks under her hand to avoid being picked up. Marcy looks into her mother's eyes for one last final time. Marcy gets to look into her mother's eyes one last final time before the demon gets ultimately too jealous. Before the demon gets ultimately gets envious of this. Marcy has finally killed her demons, and ultimately subjecting herself into making terrible decisions. Oh god, what the fuck is that? And it looks like the world is approximately going to end in 6 hours. This is the part of the video that's unscripted, unedited, and just me by myself in my apartment. Basically, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, please hit a like or subscribe. Us YouTubers have to do that so we can have some food on the table, even though right now this video is unmonetized. Basically, the reason why I wanted to review Vewn or watch all her videos today is because her art is very special to me. It gives me a very unique feeling that most animation does not. Like fucking Family Guy, The Simpsons, whatever fucking Has-Been Hotel, whatever the fucking kids watch these days. Watching her animations make me feel like I'm watching a 90s Nickelodeon cartoon and some ghost started to haunt it and starts telling me about how the adult life really is. And I just like that specific feeling that comes from Victoria's art. It's just very unique in a way. A unique feeling that a lot of art just cannot recreate for me. A lot of her animations, a lot of her pictures are very fucked up, but they displayed them in a childlike way that just encaptures me. That makes me feel like that this was the warning sign that I was supposed to receive as a child than the ones that we got, you know. And fuck ABC 1, 2, 3. Let's figure out like how to deal with the drug crisis or how to deal with our friends having an overdose once we get older, you know? Vewn just shows that no matter how much you try to escape from your reality by, you know, cartoons or nostalgia, you're still trapped. No matter if you're a fucking cat in a big city and you're trying to run away from all the pain and hurt in your life, or if you're a fucking teacher or a fucking counselor trying to gamble away all your worries, it's still there. You have to fight the problem or the problem will fight and usually kill you. And just like Bobo in that cage, you're still trapped. And no amounts of nostalgia or video game playing or trying to remember back to the past is going to help you escape from your daily struggles of life. No amount of nostalgia is ever going to fix that. Ever. You can't escape. Hell, right now, for a couple of days, I might be evicted from this apartment. But that is still me accepting the truth and not delaying myself from it, distracting myself from it. I'm still accepting the fact that reality exists, and with that, I'm still going to live my life. Because that's what you have to do in order to survive, in order to actually live. And so with that, I'm done. I see you guys in the next one.